Allow me to introduce Dave Place. He's an entrepreneur, business consultant, and founder of digital marketing companies called Let's Market Your Business and Let's Design Your Site. He has a love of business, marketing, communication, and psychology. He specializes in helping businesses grow and building more clarity to their online identity. He spent his youth working on a bachelor's and a master's, and then he went touring North America as a frontman for the band called Phone Calls from Home. And since then, he's gained textbook knowledge and then real world experience of growing a business, and it allowed him to understand and empathize with small business owners. And with all that said, I'm going to stop. Dave, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Let me share my screen. You guys let me know if you can see this. How's that?
You're good.
Awesome. Okay. I have a lot of slides, so I'm going to talk slow now, and I'm going to speed it up informationally. And then at the end, we're going to do some questions and answers. So I'm also going to put my information in the chat too. But yeah, let's begin. I'm going to start by introducing myself and then talk through the general strategy of digital marketing. Pierre and I do similar things in that we really want to help people get more qualified, motivated clients at the end of the day. And that's what most small businesses want. And so, yeah, I'll go through that and then kind of talk through the metrics, some cool third-party platforms we use. I'll talk a little bit about web design, the importance of it in 2022. And then, yeah, we'll go through some questions that you guys may have. So here we go. Rank first online in your local market, have a killer digital identity. So for me, as Bernie mentioned, I own and run two companies, Let's Market Your Business and Let's Design Your Site. Also try to be a normal human being when I can. So here's my wife and my dog and I bought a house a few years ago, got married right before COVID. So we learned a lot about each other over the last two plus years. And here's my team. We have 10 people who work together as a group to help design sites and help market small businesses across the US and Canada. And as Bernie mentioned, where it all got started for me, the entrepreneurial life was actually masked through music for me. I started with a passion for music. And as a frontman, writing songs, touring the country, playing shows, I didn't realize it, but what I was doing was creating products and services. My audience were these fans of music. And before I knew it, I had a big knowledge around everything having to do with business, because I owned a business logistically all around without realizing it, because I just love music. I said, I need to write songs, I need to put myself out there. And so while on the road, I got my degree online at the University of Massachusetts and got a master's as well. The bands showed me how to be an entrepreneur. And from there, of course, it broke up like every band. Unless you're the Rolling Stones, you're going to break up at some point. And so that led me to want to know more about entrepreneurship and how I can add value to the world. What used to be songs, in my head going, man, what can I write a song about? Now it's gaps where I go, what gaps can we fill? You know what I mean? As business owners, as entrepreneurs. And so I started building websites kind of by accident. I had ideas and said, I need to put this on a website in order to show someone instead of just explaining it over and over again. Let me just put it out there. I don't care if anyone sees it on Google. It's just a matter of going, hey, go to this website. Let me know what you think of this idea. And one example of that is called Your Adventure Fund. So I built a website that basically was made to fund your loved one's next big adventure. As human beings, we all go, what should we get for Sarah this year? I don't know. I'm going to get her a t-shirt. You're going to get her a mug. She doesn't need this stuff. Instead, she's planning a trip already. We know that. She's going to Thailand. She's going to Nashville. Why don't we just pull together and fund her adventure, fund her trip? And that way her 10 favorite people came together and paid $700 toward her trip of experiences and memories, compared to just, here's a t-shirt, here's a mug, here's something, here's a card. And so that's the kinds of ideas I had that I got to build a website around this. Before I knew it, people wanted us to build websites for them, not just my ideas, but of course for them. And so over the course of the last 3 years, we've built about 500 websites for people just all over the US, Canada, and also throughout Europe. And so that led to, man, this website's beautiful. I'm so proud of it. How do I get myself out there more, Dave? And I go, oh boy, that's a whole nother story. It's one thing to create a visually pleasing website that's functional and helpful. It's another to actually get people to said website. At first, I was nervous to help people with digital marketing because there's a lot of pitfalls, you know what I mean? And I knew that we could design a really good website, and that's plain as day. You can see it, it's real. Marketing, it's so ethereal. how can I possibly create a company that can service people in a way that can really, truly help them through digital marketing? And so what I realized was it's not so much plain and simple market my business. It's situational to a T. And what I mean by that, and I'll go into an example in a minute, but every business is so different. Your audience is different. What you sell is different. The price point is different. The sell itself is different. So there's so many avenues, so many different intricacies that I realized actually we can help people market their business in certain circumstances. And I'll get into that more later. But at the end of the day, marketing, online marketing, digital marketing, it's put yourself online so that when people in your area, whether it's geographical area or area niche-based expertise, are in need of your service and they search online, you come up first and you look great. That's the ultimate goal. You know, some of us go, I don't need to spend a lot of time on this because I actually am succeeding. Great, you know, but right now that's great. You're in a feast, but you know, we all go through lulls. You might hit a famine at some point. So it's important to always keep it in the back of your head. Keep a percentage of your time, effort, and money toward marketing so you can always sustain what you're doing, no matter if you know you're in a bad place this year or in a great place. And so marketing digital, it's just like normal marketing. You know, it's about getting in front of people. The difference is today, more than ever, people look like this. They go, I need to get something. I need to find this service. I need to find this product. Where are you going to go now? Oh, let's go to our computer. Actually, no, let's even easier. Let's just go to our phone. This is how, you know, the world in 2020 looks, 2022 looks. And so I realized digital marketing has the same core principles, you know, as the last 100 years of marketing. It's about showing up where people are specifically looking for your service. This is what trips up a lot of people. You think to yourself, oh, I need to show up everywhere. I need to show up on Instagram. I need to show up on LinkedIn. I need to show up, you name it, on YouTube. There's so many options that we just do analysis, paralysis by analysis. There's too many options. I don't even know where to start. So instead, I'm not going to do anything because this is scary. That's the way it usually works for people. Or, hey, I tried this once, it didn't work, so I'm going to throw it all out. These are some of the problems people run into, which gives digital marketing a bad name, because there's just so many ways you can do it. All of these platforms, plus many, many more, have eyes. You know, people are looking at Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, you know, your own mail. If you have newsletters, you know, I mean, you open up your mailbox. This is all places we all go to ourselves as well, not just as a business owner, but as consumers for other business owners. And I left directories kind of last to just mean any directory. You know, if you're in a medical profession, there's medical directories. If you're home services, there's places like Angie's List, Home Advisor, tons of directories out there above and beyond all these other options for platforms. So digital marketing, it's not how do I, you know, do the right post on LinkedIn. It's not about that. It's about strategy and situational awareness. And so I'll explain two different types of marketing for people in your head to make it easier to start a strategy. Yeah, I mean, you want to just start. Where do I even get started? Well, let's talk about the difference between just simple awareness and actually motivated prospects searching for your solution. Simple awareness is someone going, I think if I post enough on Instagram, I'll get some traction. Well, hold on, I don't know about that. Because if I ever go on Instagram, I'm kind of just going for entertainment value. I'm not going to be sold to, usually. And so, you know, there's so many options. Oh, maybe I should post on Twitter. Maybe I should post on Instagram. Well, let's think about that. When you go to Instagram, do you look for a certain solution for yourself? Most of the time, no. And it's hard to convince someone of something they need by just simply showing up on their feed. Same with TV advertisement. You know, I mean, the Super Bowl with Dorito commercials and Pepsi commercials. Those are advertising, but it's big budgets to just let you know that they're still around. You should eat Doritos. That's all. For all of us little guys that don't have an international budget on our hands, we shouldn't spend too much time on awareness, simply going, we exist. No, you should spend your marketing time, effort, dollars on looking for motivated prospects searching for your exact solution. So this is just an example. I'm not saying bad Instagram, good YouTube. I'm just kind of putting two against each other in this random example. But if you go to YouTube, you know, if I'm going to YouTube as a homeowner, I'm going to type in like how to fix my broken sink. Right now, I'm a motivated person searching for a specific solution, whether I can do it myself or hiring someone. And so you want to start digital marketing in your head of how do I deduce this down to simplicity? One idea is think about platforms that people flock to for your solution that you can provide. those people are already pre-convinced they have a problem. That's half the battle. They're going, I need this done. For me, web design. How do I find people that need web design? Instead of saying, hey, out there to anyone listening, I'm a web designer. When you need me that one day in the next 5 years for a new website, I'm here. No, how do I get people who are already looking for it to find me? So I have a few points in this digital marketing kind of realm. First one is be honest with the space you're in. And what I mean by that is I said earlier, marketing to me is very situational. And I'm going to give you an example of two different business owners with two different business plans with two different audiences. And I hope you can see the difference here, because it's a gaping difference between two companies going, I want digital marketing. Isn't that the same thing for everyone? No. Here's what I'm talking about. We had a client who wrote a book, great book. The cover's amazing. It's called Fully Alive. And it's a book about addiction. So, it's not just a book about health. It's not, addiction is a niche in and of itself. Hey, can you guys help me market my book about addiction? Well, we do some due diligence. Hey, I got some bad news. There's over 60,000 books on addiction that show up when I go to Amazon, just as a normal consumer. So you want us to help you. We know that there's probably 3 billion potential readers that have internet access in the world. And of the 3 billion, you want to get some people to get your book. But the issue is you have 60,000 books you're competing with in the same space. Well, if we get someone to say yes, you want to pay us to do this, how much would you get? Well, whenever I sell a book, I make $5. Oh boy. So you're up against 60,000 competitors and getting one person to say yes. But when you do get one person, you make $5. That's against you. That's tough. That is a tough place to be in. And who are these competitors? Oh, a lot of them are backed by international publishers that have billions of dollars in revenue that they can spend on marketing. Oh boy. I don't know if you should hire us for marketing, because this is an uphill battle. This is tough if this is what you're given. I'm going to give you the opposite approach. Another business owner. Yeah, I'm a roofer. I'm in Pueblo, Colorado. We help them out too. I'd love help marketing. So what's going on with you? Well, we're in this area, this county, about 100,000 homeowners. I looked on Google. It looks like you have about 20 competitors. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And how much, when you redo a roof, what's the profitability on that? About $1,000. Okay, wait a second. You're up against only 20 other businesses that are small businesses that also don't know how to market themselves on the internet. Only 20. And when you get one person to say yes, you make $1,000. That's right. Compared to you're up against 60,000 competitors. And when you get one person to say yes, you get paid $5. The gaping difference, two businesses that need digital marketing, but two very, very specific use cases, two very, very specific niches, the amount of audience they have, the amount of competition they have, the amount of revenue they make when you get someone to say yes. There's so much there that's different that you have to ask yourself, where am I in this spectrum? How many competitors do I have? Am I in a niche with 100,000 people? Maybe. And that honesty has to ring true with you, because it helps you devise the strategy you need. So for my company as Let's Design Your Site, I go, we're a web designer. We can design a website for anyone in the world. That sounds good, but it's actually bad, because so can anyone else. We're up against a million other competitors. So how can we don't have the benefit of being a roofing company in a county of 100,000 where the barrier to entry is you have to move to this county and then be a licensed roofer. We don't have that. There is no barrier to entry to web design. And so how can we put ourselves against others? And this is the same with a lot of you guys, a lot of consultants, a lot of people that say, I do it, but so does 100,000 other people. So how do we find our niche if it's not simply just local? It's not just finding a niche, it's a niche of a niche of a niche. It's one thing to say, I'm a plumber, another to go, I'm a plumber in Cleveland, and another to go, you know what, I've decided to use Angie's List a lot. So I'm actually the top plumber in Cleveland on Angie's List. Okay, that's more like it. As a digital marketer, I can't help you if you're a plumber that serves a state wide. That's hard. But if you go, you know what I want to be? I want to be the top one on this directory in this city. We got a niche of a niche now, meaning our competition goes from thousands to hundreds to tens. Now we're talking. Here's an example from my own brand, Let's Design Your Site. We found this amazing platform recently called Clutch. And this is a platform for people to find web designers, digital marketers, things like that. And I thought, okay, there's a few directories out there. What makes this one special? Well, what makes them special is there's 2 million people that come to this website every month. I like that. And they actually coming knowing that this website helps them find a web designer or digital marketer. Oh my gosh, so far we have qualified, motivated people coming to a source. I like this so far. What's the catch? Well, the catch is, Dave, unfortunately, Clutch has 55,000 web design firms on the platform. Okay, now I'm back to being an author like that author. I'm one against 55,000. What do I do? Well, Clutch is a niche. Okay, that's good. What else can I do? Oh, wait, I can go through these kind of filters on Clutch and think like the end user. You know what? I want web design, but budget. I want a budget of under $5,000. I don't want to spend tens of thousands on web design. I want a budget of under 5,000. And also, I want a provider that has a lot of reviews. I care a lot about reviews. And that it tells me that they have a history, they have good, they've served people well, and people are willing to buy for them. You take the same platform and you search it down to filter of they have more than 20 reviews and they're willing to build your website for under 5,000. The same platform shoots back 76 service providers compared to 55,000. I think I found my niche on a niche. I am now only competing against 76 people for a business for a client compared to 55,000. That's amazing. So at first someone goes, you should try Clutch. I look into it, I go, it's us against 55,000, not worth it. But wait a second, let me see what I can use psychological strategy of the end user and go, well, they're already sold into Clutch because Clutch does such a good job of listing well on Google they list number 3 for digital marketing, period. They list number 1 for web development company, period. So Clutch does a great job of finding consumers on behalf of us. But how do we get them from Clutch? Well, here, we got to find a niche of a niche of a niche. And the cool thing is, we didn't even need to niche by city to get down to 76 firms. We're in the Boston area. So if I say, under 5,000 in Boston, I'm sure it's us against 3 other people. And now any Bostonian that stumbles upon Clutch can find us. And so you really have to take a real world perspective on this. Instead of saying digital marketing equals throw spaghetti at a wall, digital marketing can be mathematical. It can be a science. It can be psychological, and it can make sense, which gets me really excited. A third point, reverse engineer where people look for you. When we're the business owner, we suddenly take on a completely different mindset. I do this for a living, therefore people should totally go with me because I'm me. I like, like I have friends that love me and say I'm good at what I do. So you should hire me too. But when we're the consumer, we don't care about anything. And so you go, oh, you want to hire me? Well, you pay a deposit. Things like that, I have my website on the internet, so why can't I be found? I'm on the internet. Yeah, but so are a billion other websites. When you're a consumer, you don't care about any one website. But when you're a business owner, you go, wait a second, I'm me. How come no one's finding me? And so you have to remove yourself, think, I am not a business owner. I'm just someone looking for the service I happen to provide. And as business owners, you end up, we all have thrown money, time, attention at Facebook ads, Google ads, cold outreach, coaches, things like that. It's hard, and these work, but without the right practices, they're not going to work for you. If you're not a Facebook ad specialist like Pierre, how are you going to compete with someone like Pierre who does it for a living? And so we've all thrown money away at these marketing things and said, I don't know, I just don't know how to do this. Well, it takes that strategy approach and it takes that mindset to be able to get to the point of that. So you got to reverse engineer the way people search for your service. You got to niche down. And in doing so, you can find out truly where people are looking for someone like you. So for me, once again, using web design as an example, we can go on Google Map. People might search web design near me, web designer near me. Well, Google business profiles are free. So we can actually establish a Google business profile and show up in the Boston area when people in Boston type in web design near me. That's completely free. I didn't have to pay anyone. I didn't have to pay anyone for that. No consultant. Didn't have to pay Google for it. That's a way. We specialize on the Wix platform, and Wix has a marketplace of vendors. So some people go, I'm just going to go to the preferred vendors list. There we are. That's free. This Clutch platform I just told you about, free. We can create YouTube videos to help establish ourselves as an authority, either on the Wix platform itself or in digital marketing. That's free if you're willing to do it. And so we're all thinking, man, we tried spending $300 on this, $1,000 on that. Nothing ever works. You don't even have to spend money for half of this stuff if you think ahead of time the strategy behind it all. And then lastly, let's not do where people are not looking for web design. And so that's, you want to also inverse it just to double check. Wait a second. Oh, someone has a great idea. Wait a second, but would you look for web design on that one little platform? Probably not. Let's just let it go then. Let's not worry about awareness. Let's worry about finding people who are qualified and motivated looking for our exact service. So I want to give you an example of someone who just utilized the strategy and for free established himself as the same year he went into business, he sold out his inventory. And he's a friend who lives in Maine. And he said, I'm going to start a Christmas tree farm, a Christmas tree business. And I'm going, why? That's so random. He goes, well, my brother has a farm. And I love the idea of a seasonal company because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it for 2 months and then it's gone. And so he said, yeah, so I'm trying to set this up. In my head, I go, that's an uphill battle. He goes, well, I think I've sourced the Christmas trees from Canada. Thank you, guys. And I'm going to have the Christmas trees ready, like 200 Christmas trees I'm going to start with. In my head, I go, he's going to just have 200 Christmas trees just sitting there because how is he going to get himself out there? 3 weeks later, I'm the idiot because he goes, hey, I sold out. I'm like, how? He goes, I don't know. They just found me. How did they find you? I don't know. So let it go. 6 months later, I'm talking to him and I'm like, I think I figured out what happened to you. He goes, what? And I go, you utilize Google Business Profile for free. You just established a Google Business Profile. And when people search Christmas trees near me, what are they? They're not going to go to LinkedIn for Christmas trees. They're just going to type it into Google. Google's going to show up with actual website options, but it's also going to show up with that map at the top of Google too. And it's going to say, here are Christmas tree farms near you. He established himself right in the center of York, Maine, and he called his company St. Nick's Christmas Trees. So I know the strategy behind Google, the way that they establish themselves in the Google Business Profile. They care most about proximity to the searcher and that the name has to do with the service. So I'm going, oh my gosh, these other companies have probably been around for 10, 20 years, but they're called Osgood's Which Away Choose and Cut. And they're 10 minutes from the city center. I go, you just blew these other businesses who have been around forever out the water because you established yourself for free on Google Business Profile, called yourself something with Christmas trees in the name, and happened to be in the center of York, Maine. That's amazing. And it's like, well, who cares about York, Maine? I don't know, but there's 12,000 people that live there. Out of 12,000, we can assume 6,000 families, and they all need Christmas trees this year. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you could double next year because you strategically found a way accidentally to market yourself digitally where people are actually searching. So I'm like, my goodness, man, anyone in York, Maine who doesn't already have a tradition just went to Google and said, Christmas tree near me, found you first and said, oh, you're first, you must be the best one. Amazing. And he did it by accident, but I'm like, what we do is specialize in getting it so you can do the same strategy and actually not do it by accident because he kind of lucked out on that one. So once again, reverse engineer where people look for you and spend time on that. A lot of times you don't have to pay for it. You just have to think through it psychologically and say, how do I put myself in those positions? Another thought, strategize, lean on platforms, and execute. And what I mean by that is strategize, like I was saying, think through it, reverse engineer it, and then create a strategy to start from. You know what I mean? You can't just kind of throw it all out and say, I'm going to try this out. Think ahead, measure twice, cut once. And while you're thinking about these outreach to different platforms, think about a few. Don't just go for one because everyone's different. We have a few companies that are closet design companies. And I go as clients and I'm like, we can absolutely do Google ads. We can do things like that. But Pinterest, I mean, there's loads of people on Pinterest that are looking for closet design ideas. And it's free to post on Pinterest. And who knows, people in your area, happen to find you. And so there's free ways in multiple avenues that people are looking. Let's put in a few different barrels so we can shoot fish in a barrel. Let's find a few different options here. Secondly, find some third-party platforms that give you access to marketing data. What I'm talking about is over here, when I mentioned this company, before just going forward with them, I did my own research on them through our platform we use called SEMrush. This will actually tell us how many people search this website a month, which is unbelievable. It's like, I thought only Google could tell me that. No, there's a few third-party platforms, cost $100, $200 a month in different areas. They have different platforms for LinkedIn analytics, different platforms for Facebook analytics, Google analytics. that can really give away a lot of answers for you that make you feel like, oh, I don't have to work off intuition. I can actually work off real metrics. And so you can lean on third-party platforms you can find. And then lastly, spend time, effort, and attention, and probably a little money to have people find you. You know what I mean? Go for it, execute on it. And always, when they do find you, once again, they're the consumer, you're the business owner, give the answers. You know, here I am with you guys going, here's all the answers. Life is hard and no one wants to do everything. That's the whole point of economics. You know what I mean? I don't want to make my own shoes. Someone could teach me how to make a shoe. I still won't do it. And so give it away. You know what I mean? Give away the free call, give away the discovery call, give away the PDF, create things, you know, give away videos. It goes a long way. And so that way you're dealing with the consumer the way they want to be dealt with. It's always a two-way street, but to meet them, you have to earn their business. Once again, we don't silo. We don't try just one thing. We sprinkle it all around. I know we're running out of time. And so real quick, I'll briefly go through some of the tools we use and a little bit of kind of strategy metrics tools, things like that. So once again, SEMrush is an amazing tool. You type in a keyword, closet design ideas, it'll throw in different variation of the keyword and how many people search for it. So in one foul swoop, 10 seconds later, I basically am Google. I go, oh, okay. Closet design ideas, 6,000 people search for that a month in the United States. Similarly, small closet design ideas, 720 people search for that. So these help us know things that our competitors have no idea about. If you imagine just your competitor knows all the data about your service, the amount of people searching, and you don't. It's terrible. And so you can be on the other side of it. You can be the one knowledgeable about it. Here's another platform we use in measuring our own success in it. This is an tool called Agency Analytics. In one place, you can have all the metrics on your company. How are we doing with our Google ads? How are we doing with our backlinks to our website? How are we doing with our rankings on Google? How are we doing with the website itself? Are there anything broken? There's too many things to think about. This platform just puts it all in one. Unbelievable. Another one called Bright Local for local companies. This tool says on the Google map, when someone searches for a business like you, proximity matters. So we're actually going to make it so on one map, we can pretend like we're in 25 different points at one time and show you where you rank proximity wise to people who are searching in those areas. So if you're a local service provider, I'm a chiropractor, and I rank number one when I look myself up because you're in your office when you look yourself up. Of course, you're right next to you by Google standard. What happens when you're a mile away? I don't know. I don't want to drive a mile away to find out. Well, this platform does it for you. And it also shows you in a different viewpoint who ranks above you and how they're doing. Here's their ratings on Google. Here's the category that they're in. Here's the authority score of the website. Unbelievable stuff that you just wouldn't expect any data tools to have. And it's just right at our fingertips. You know, they just want to charge us $100 a month, $200 a month. Try it for 3 months, see how it works. If it doesn't help you, let it go. Another one called CallRail is amazing. You can tie in phone numbers to all the different ways someone can reach you. Oh, I have a newsletter I put out every month. I have my own website. I have Google ads to my website. I have an ongoing Facebook campaign I'm working on. You can tie different phone numbers to those places so that when you get calls from new clients, potentially, you know where they came from. So you know what's working and what's not working. And so all these tools and third-party platforms allow you at the front end to tell you what's possible for the market. And also in the middle, while you're doing it, how you're doing. And so going forward, if you guys want to talk with me, I'd love to. I love this kind of stuff. I mean, I'll just show you some other random kind of stats that we look into, that we study. You want to search better on Google. You go, how do I do that? Oh, well, we know the different factors that Google plays into how you rank. And so if you just go, I wish my website could rank better, I'll never know how. We know how, because we actually see what matters and what doesn't. And we see how the trend changes year to year. So here's a trend of how your website ranks compared to other websites on a year-to-year basis. What Google cares more about than less, this year compared to last year, things like that. Different factors, is your website mobile friendly? Is there domain authority? A lot of different things at once going on that all relate to how you rank in different directories like Google. And then lastly, things like keyword research. Once again, we're helping a client that does closet design. We said, you know what? You do garage storage stuff too, right? Yeah, we do. How much do you do? We don't really flaunt it too much. Really, because I just did some research with our tools, and 33,000 people search garage storage ideas. 49,000 people search garage storage. So you're in custom closet business, but you don't realize this, but 2 times the amount of people care about storage. You think this way, your colleagues think this way. We just looked at data, not even intuition. The data says twice the amount of people care about garages. You should definitely do more with that. Yeah, if you're marketing only to closet people, you're totally missing out. And it's not because I care about garages, it's because we have access to the data, things like that. So we love marketing because, we get to take psychology, math, common sense, and kind of pull it together with cool platforms to allow ourselves to think strategically in helping clients decide their path, reverse engineer how people would search for them, go forward with that path and allow for some metrics along the way. So that's it for today. Here's a little visual. So in a nutshell, when people in your area are in need of your service, they search online. The goal is you come up first, you look better than others in terms of web design, in terms of rankings, in terms of reviews. They reach out, make the connection. You serve them, right? You give them some free things. You make sure that you're there for them. Eventually they hire you, you get paid. They spread the word, rinse and repeat. Yeah, so that's a little presentation for you guys on digital marketing.